Something extraordinary has happened in the skies over Yemen, an event that has sent ripples of speculation and concern throughout the international community. It's a development that demands our attention, a silent yet powerful statement etched against the backdrop of an already turbulent region. The B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, a marvel of modern engineering and a symbol of American air power, has been spotted. Its presence, once a closely guarded secret, is now undeniably known. The radar screens designed to detect even the faintest traces of airborne threats have confirmed what many suspected: the ghost in the machine has arrived. This marks a dramatic shift in the conflict, a turning point that could redefine the strategic landscape of the region. The implications are far-reaching, extending beyond the immediate borders of Yemen and touching upon the delicate balance of power in the Middle East. This isn't just another routine mission, a simple exercise of military might. This is a calculated move, a deliberate deployment of a strategic asset with a clear message intended for multiple audiences. It's a bold statement, a declaration of intent that resonates with both allies and adversaries alike. The B-2's presence speaks volumes, conveying a message of unwavering resolve and unmatched capability. Deploying America's most advanced bomber here, to this specific theater of operations, is a decision that has been weighed and considered at the highest levels of command. It's a move that reflects a deep understanding of the complexities of the conflict and a willingness to project power when necessary. This signals a major escalation, a clear indication that the stakes have been raised. The rules of the game are changing and the players involved must adapt to this new reality. It's turning a regional war into a showcase for supreme air power, a demonstration of technological superiority that cannot be ignored. The B-2's presence transforms the conflict into a stage for global power projection. For years, Yemen's skies saw conventional jets, the workhorses of modern air forces, conducting strikes and reconnaissance missions, and drones, the silent sentinels of the 21st century battlefield, have become a common sight. But the B-2 is in a league of its own, a strategic asset unlike any other. It represents the pinnacle of stealth technology and long-range strike capability. Designed to penetrate the world's toughest air defenses undetected, the B-2 can deliver a devastating payload with unparalleled precision. Its stealth capabilities render it virtually invisible to enemy radar, making it a formidable weapon in any conflict. Its presence over Yemen, a nation already grappling with immense challenges, adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. A country with limited defenses, struggling with internal conflict and external pressures, now finds itself at the center of a global power play. This raises big questions, forcing us to reevaluate the strategic objectives and the potential consequences of this deployment. Why use such a powerful asset here, in a conflict that has largely been fought with conventional weapons and tactics? What is the underlying rationale behind this decision? The answer lies in the current geopolitical climate, a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and competing interests that shape the global landscape. The B-2's arrival sends a message not just to the Houthis, the rebel group that controls much of Yemen, but to Iran, a key supporter of the Houthis and a major player in the region. China and Russia, nations that are increasingly challenging the United States' dominance on the world stage. The message is clear: the US can strike anywhere, anytime with devastating force. No corner of the globe is beyond its reach. This is strategic communication at its finest, a carefully orchestrated display of military might designed to deter aggression and reassure allies. No target is safe, no sanctuary secure. The B-2's presence underscores the vulnerability of even the most heavily defended locations, and the rules of engagement may be changing as the United States signals its willingness to use its most advanced weapons to protect its interests and maintain its position as a global superpower. We'll explore why the B-2 was deployed to this specific region, examining the strategic considerations and the potential implications of this decision. We'll analyze what it means for the conflict in Yemen, assessing the impact on the various factions involved and the prospects for a peaceful resolution, and how it signals a new era in modern warfare, where stealth technology and precision strike capabilities are increasingly important. This isn't just about a new weapon. It's about a paradigm shift in how wars are fought and won. It's about the future of air power and global strategy, a future where technological superiority and strategic communication are key to maintaining peace and security. To understand the impact of a B-2 over Yemen, you need to know what it represents. The B-2 Spirit is the pinnacle of stealth technology, designed to evade detection with its flying wing shape and radar-absorbent materials. Originally built to deliver nuclear weapons deep into enemy territory, it now serves as a global strike platform, able to hit any target from its home base. With a massive payload and pinpoint accuracy, it can eliminate high-value targets while remaining virtually invisible. Only about 20 exist, each worth over $2 billion. Deploying one in Yemen signals that the stakes are at their highest. The B-2 is more than a weapon. It's a symbol of American power and resolve. Yemen's war is one of the world's worst humanitarian crises, rooted in a 2014 civil war when the Houthis seized the capital, forcing the government to flee. The Houthis, backed by Iran, quickly drew in a Saudi-led coalition aiming to restore the ousted government. The conflict became a brutal proxy war, devastating Yemen's infrastructure and population. Multiple factions now compete for control, making peace elusive. Yemen's strategic location on the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, vital for global oil shipments, draws international attention. Houthi attacks on shipping threaten global trade, prompting foreign military involvement. The US and its allies see preventing Iranian-backed control as a top priority. In this volatile context, deploying the B-2 marks a significant escalation. It's a move shaped by both local chaos and global stakes. The B-2's arrival in Yemen signals a break from past tactics. Houthi forces aided by Iran have improved their missile and drone capabilities, making some targets too risky for conventional jets. The B-2 can strike deeply buried or mobile targets with total surprise. Think hidden command bunkers or missile launchers. Its stealth and precision change the risk equation, allowing for surgical strikes with minimal warning. This isn't just about hitting targets, it's psychological warfare, sending a clear warning to Iran. The message US power can reach anywhere. An escalation will be met with overwhelming force. The B-2 is both a weapon and a diplomatic signal. The deployment of the B-2 stealth bomber over Yemen sent ripples of surprise throughout the global intelligence community. Seasoned military analysts, accustomed to predictable patterns of engagement, were caught completely off guard. The unexpected appearance of such an advanced aircraft in this particular theater raised a multitude of questions and sparked intense debate. Yemen, a nation embroiled in conflict, possesses only rudimentary air defense capabilities. It lacks the sophisticated, multi-layered systems that the B-2 was specifically engineered to penetrate and neutralize. The very presence of the B-2 in this environment seems like an overkill, a hammer used where a scalpel might suffice. For quite some time, conventional airstrikes had become a routine occurrence in the Yemeni conflict, a grimly familiar aspect of the ongoing hostilities. These strikes, often carried out by less sophisticated aircraft, had become almost commonplace. But the sudden and unexpected appearance of the stealth bomber shatters that established pattern, injecting an element of unpredictability into the equation. It signals a departure from the norm, a deliberate disruption of the status quo. This bold move strongly suggests the emergence of a new, potentially critical threat that demands immediate attention and a decisive response. It implies that existing strategies are no longer adequate to address the evolving challenges on the ground, or, alternatively, it could signify a fundamental shift in the overall US strategic approach to the region, a recalibration of priorities and objectives. Perhaps a new direction is being charted, one that requires a more assertive and technologically advanced posture. The carefully orchestrated public disclosure of the B-2's operations is certainly no accident or oversight. It's a calculated decision designed to achieve specific strategic goals. It's intended not only to potentially neutralize a target but also, and perhaps more importantly, to send a clear and unmistakable message to both adversaries and allies alike. The B-2's long-cultivated mystique, its aura of technological superiority and unmatched stealth capabilities, is now being actively leveraged as a powerful tool of psychological warfare. It serves to project an image of invincibility, of overwhelming force that can strike anywhere, anytime, with impunity. This highly visible and carefully orchestrated action stands in stark contrast with the recent and much publicized US efforts to strategically reduce its overall military presence and footprint in the Middle East region. So, the critical question remains, why now, after all this time? Perhaps the emergence of a new and unforeseen threat, one that poses a significant risk to US interests, justifies diverting such a uniquely valuable and strategically important asset. the deployment undoubtedly forces a comprehensive reassessment of U.S. strategic priorities and objectives in the region, compelling policymakers to reevaluate existing assumptions and approaches. It serves as a potent reminder that, despite the ongoing shift in strategic focus towards other global hotspots, the Middle East continues to demand the attention and, at times, the deployment of America's most advanced and powerful military tools. The B-2's very presence in the region is undeniably a game-changer, a strategic wildcard that alters the calculus of power and influence. Officially, the U.S. will frame the B-2's use as protecting global shipping or targeting terrorists like Al-Qaeda. These justifications are palatable and legally sound, but beneath the surface, the real message is for Iran. The B-2 strikes at Iranian influence in Yemen without risking direct conflict. It's a way to impose costs on Iran's proxy war, using overwhelming force from a distance. There's also a demonstration effect, proving the B-2's value as its successor, the B-21, nears deployment. The operation reassures allies and warns adversaries, reinforcing U.S. resolve. Domestically, it projects strength and decisiveness, silencing critics. The B-2 is as much a political instrument as a military one. Experts across the board are in agreement. The deployment of the B-2 bomber in Yemen signifies more than just a tactical decision. It represents a fundamental paradigm shift in how we approach modern warfare. This isn't just about addressing an immediate threat, it's about redefining the boundaries of strategic engagement. Once, the B-2's capabilities were exclusively reserved for scenarios involving superpower wars, potential nuclear conflicts, and the gravest threats to national security. It was a strategic asset held in reserve for the most extreme circumstances. Now, we're witnessing its application in solving tactical problems within the context of asymmetric conflicts, addressing challenges posed by non-state actors and guerrilla warfare tactics. This represents a significant departure from its original intended use. This fundamentally rewrites the rulebook of modern military strategy. The established protocols and doctrines are being challenged, forcing a reevaluation of how we utilize our most advanced assets. Strategic assets, previously considered untouchable except in the most dire situations, are now being actively employed as tools for managing and resolving regional crises, demonstrating a willingness to project power in a more nuanced and adaptable manner. The psychological impact of this deployment is immense, extending far beyond the immediate battlefield. It sends a clear message about the capabilities and resolve of the United States. Enemies, both state and non-state actors, must now constantly wonder if they are under constant surveillance, if their actions are being monitored, and if they are potential targets for future operations. This uncertainty can be a powerful deterrent in itself. However, some analysts and commentators are expressing concerns about the long-term implications of this shift in strategy. They argue that overusing the B-2, deploying it in scenarios that might be addressed with less sophisticated assets, could ultimately erode its deterrent value and diminish its aura of invincibility. A significant part of its power lies in its rarity, in the understanding that it represents the pinnacle of American military technology and is not deployed lightly. Using it too often, they contend, risks diminishing its mystique, transforming it from an almost mythical weapon into just another tool in the arsenal. Still, despite these concerns, the prevailing consensus within military and political circles is that the escalating threat posed by Iranian-supplied weapons and the destabilizing actions of Iranian proxies in the region ultimately forced this bold and potentially precedent-setting move. The B-2 offers a unique and unparalleled set of capabilities, providing a military solution that is simply not available through other means. Specifically, it provides a deniable solution, allowing for discrete military action while minimizing the risk of escalation and maintaining a degree of plausible deniability. Ultimately, this deployment isn't just about addressing the immediate crisis in Yemen, as significant as that may be. It's fundamentally about containing Iran's expansionist ambitions and deterring further aggression in the region. It's about safeguarding the vital shipping lanes of the Red Sea, a critical artery of global commerce and a region of immense strategic importance. And perhaps most importantly, it's about demonstrating the unwavering reach and resolve of American military power on the global stage. The B-2, in this context, serves as the sharp point of U.S. power projection, a tangible symbol of America's commitment to maintaining stability and security around the world. It is now pressed firmly into the ongoing conflict, signaling a new era of engagement and a willingness to utilize even the most advanced assets to achieve strategic objectives. The rules of warfare are demonstrably changing before our very eyes, and the deployment of the B-2 in Yemen serves as a stark reminder of the evolving nature of contemporary conflict. For Yemenis, the B-2's arrival brings new fear. Nowhere feels safe, and escalation looms. Even precise strikes risk civilian casualties and deepen the humanitarian crisis. Regionally, Iran sees this as a direct threat, likely responding with more proxy activity or cyber attacks. Allies like Saudi Arabia may welcome US support, but the stakes are now higher for everyone. Globally, rivals like Russia and China will study these operations, accelerating their own stealth and counter-stealth programs. The B-2's use in Yemen is a real-world test, fueling a new arms race in invisibility and detection. This sets a dangerous precedent. Strategic assets are now fair game in regional wars. The line between deterrence and intervention is blurring. Other nations may follow suit, making future conflicts more volatile. The ghost is out of the bottle and the consequences are unpredictable. The B-2's deployment over Yemen is a turning point, escalating the conflict and redefining US strategy. It's a tool for eliminating high-value threats and sending a psychological message to Iran and the world. For Yemen, it means a more intense high-tech war. For the region, it risks further escalation. Globally, it sets a precedent for using top-tier assets in regional conflicts, challenging old norms. This bold move carries risks and uncertain outcomes. The B-2's presence reveals how technology, geopolitics, and psychological warfare now intertwine. Is this a one-off mission or the start of a new doctrine? The world is watching Yemen's skies for answers, and for what the future of war will look like.